Welcome my dear students to Accelerate Tutorials with Sunita Dubey. This video which I have prepared is the second poem from your prose textbook Flamingo. The name of the poem is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, which has been written by Stephen Spender. Spender was born on 28 February 1909 at Kensington, and he died on 16 July 1995 at Westminster, London. He was a poet, a novelist, as well as an essayist. The God That Failed was written by him in 1949, which dealt with the ex-communist testimonies. The theme of the poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, is about social injustice and class inequality, highlighting the socio-economic condition of the slum dwellers. This poem is written in free verses. It doesn't follow any rhyme scheme. As we all know that elementary means basic or primary, and we know the condition of the slum areas, very bad condition. The houses are closely packed to each other. There is no drainage, proper drainage system. The garbage and the drain water collects and it gives out a very foul stink. Many people live together in one small room. So this is the condition, and in such a condition is the elementary classroom. Now this poem, which has been written by Stephen Spender, has 4 stanzas. The first stanza, it tells us about the pathetic condition of the slum children, how they are living in a very, very unhealthy condition. The second stanza, it is telling us about the unpleasant condition of the classroom as well as the surrounding areas. The third stanza, it gives us the message of the aggressive mood of the poet. And the fourth stanza, it conveys a message that people who have authority, they should come forward. So in the last stanza, he is urging and requesting to such authorities to come forward and do something for these children. So let's start the poem. This is the first stanza. So let's begin the first stanza. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds, their hair torn around their pallor. So in the beginning itself, the poet has compared the privileged children with the children in the slum classroom. These children in the slum classroom, they are far, far away from all the privileges which are got by the rich children. Here, gusty waves, it's written over here, it is a metaphor and it means the privileged children. It also means exuberant, it also means forward moving. So this is all what is got by the only rich people. These slum children cannot get all these facilities in their life. Now their faces are compared to the rootless weeds. You know, the roots are very, very important for the plant or the tree to stand. So here there is no root for them. So they are uncared for, they are unwanted, they are unloved. There is no one to take their responsibility. And the hair torn around their pallor, the hair is all scattered about because they don't have any sense of personal cleanliness or hygiene. The tall girl with her weighed down head. The tall girl with a weighed down head. Here her weighed down head is symbolizing all her burden, her stress of poverty and responsibility which she has. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. This is a metaphor because it is a direct comparison of the boy who is malnutritious and his eyes are like the rat's eyes which are hungry and searching for food because they are not getting a proper diet. The stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones reciting a father's gnarled disease. Now in the classroom there is one boy who is stunted and he is sitting at the back bench and he cannot come forward, so he's sitting and he is learning his lessons, and what he has achieved or received from his father is a knotted disease, a disease which cannot be cured. Here reciting, it is a pun because reciting means saying, and reciting also means inheriting or getting. So it's written over here, I have written here that reciting, it is a pun. Now the lesson from his desk, because he cannot get up from his bench, so he's sitting at his desk and he is reciting his lesson. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. Now in this dim class, the class is dim because there is no electricity. So in this dim class, in this gloomy situation, there is one boy who's sitting at the back bench and he is looking out of the window. And he is looking at the trees where the squirrels are running up and down. His eyes live in a dream. His eyes are in a dream. He wants to come out from this pathetic condition. He has dreams and aspirations to move forward in life. He also wants to achieve something. He wants progress. He has many desires. So he is looking at the squirrel and he also wants that carefree life which the squirrel is playing by running up and down the tree. So here in the first stanzas, all the poetic devices are written. Far, it's a repetition as well as an alliteration. The metaphor, the gusty waves, it means the privileged children. It also means energetic, exuberant and forward moving. The paper seeming boy is compared to a thin sheet of paper because he is so thin, malnutritious, and his eyes are bulging out like the rat's eyes because rats are always searching for food. The boy is also hungry and he is also searching for food. The tree room, it is a metaphor because the tree room is a hole or a place where the squirrels, they hide their nuts and they live there. Then the imagery and symbols are there. The weighed down head is the symbol, which means the stress and the burden and the responsibilities which she has on her head. Then the squirrel's game is the other imagery, which means enjoying and playing. Pun is there, reciting. Pun has two meanings. One means reciting, saying, and the other means inheriting, and the simile is there like rootless weeds. This is the second stanza. The second stanza, it deals with the unpleasant condition of the classroom as well as the surrounding areas. There are many donations which are put up on the walls of the classroom. The first donation is the portrait of Shakespeare. Then there is another donation which is a scenery, and in this scenery the beautiful buildings, architectures as well as the beautiful flowers and valleys can be seen. The third donation is a map which is showing the different countries of the world. But all these things are useless for these children because their world is restricted into the four walls of the classroom, and the window from where they see out, they can see only misery and lack of opportunities. So let's start with the stanza. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, riding all cities. So here the condition of the classroom, the walls are very bad. From white they have turned into sour cream, means yellowish in color, which looks very unpleasant. And on these unpleasant walls the donations are put up, and the first donation is the portrait of Shakespeare. Since Shakespeare was bald, so the poet has given the reference of cloudless at dawn, means a clear bald. Civilized dome riding all cities. Civilized means the educated and the eminent people who build all these beautiful buildings and architectures. And belled, flowery, tireless valley, these are the sceneries. Okay, in the scenery, all these things can be seen. The beautiful buildings, the mountains, the valleys, the flowers, all the open area, the pollution free area can be seen in that scenery. Then there is an open handed map awarding the world its world. Open handed map is a map which is drawn, or the boundaries are divided according to the wish and fancies of the people because they have power in them. Awarding the world its world means to divide the world according to their own wishes and fancies. And yet for these children are the children of the slum classroom. These windows, the windows which are there in the classroom, these windows, not this world, the world which is put up on the wall, the donation of the map, that is not their world, because they cannot come out into that world and see the world. But their world is restricted, our world, where all the futures painted with a fog, because their future is dim, blur, cannot be seen properly. They don't have a bright future. Their future is unclear. So this is what they see from these windows. When they open these windows, in the class the condition is the same, as well as out there is misery and lack of opportunities. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes and stars of words. These two lines are the contrasting lines, because one line, it is telling about the bad condition of the slum area, and the other is showing the beautiful area. The beautiful area cannot be got by these slum children. So their area is congested, narrow lanes are there, and the entire situation there, the entire surrounding, it's like a lead, grayish in color, blur, and not at all with no opportunities for them. And on the other hand, we see that far, far from rivers, the world of the rich people and the slum children, it is a contrasting world, because the slum children cannot get all these opportunities which the rich children can get, and it is far, far from the rivers. The rivers is symbolizing the progress and the opportunities. The capes, they are symbolizing the open, fresh, pollution free area, and the stars of words means the education, to become well versed. There is no opportunity of a very good education for them. So this is their condition. Now just we'll have a look at the poetic devices one at a time. We will see them. This is for the second stanza. Pun is there, sour cream. It is a pun because it has two meanings. One meaning is unpleasant, yellowish in color, and the other is the dreams turned sour. Then we have the imagery or the symbols. The first is the sour cream, which is a symbol, an imagery which is showing the unpleasant and yellow condition of the walls. Civilized doom riding all cities, it is showing the progress of the rich and the eminent people and their marvelous architecture and the buildings which they have made. Open-handed map, the map which is drawn according to the whims and fancies of the people who are in power. Window, the window in the classroom, the window which shows the misery and which shows the lack of opportunities, which shows a foggy, unclear, a blur future. Fog means bleak and unclear. The personification is there, riding all cities. Then the allusion is there, Shakespeare and Taurus Valley. Allusion is used when we take the name of some prominent or some famous person or a famous place. Then we have the assonance, which is Bell, Flowery and Taurus Valley. Assonance is a figure of speech where E comes again and again in the words. Then here we have the repetition far, far, and we have far from, alliteration. Then we have the metaphors, futures painted with a fog, means the direct comparison of their future with blurriness and lack of opportunities. Sealed with a lead sky means the entire area where they are staying, it does not have any progress or no opportunities are there. And stars of words means the facilities of a good education to become well versed. Third stanza. Now the poet has become pensive and aggressive at the same time, and he is calling Shakespeare wicked because Shakespeare's literature is useless for these children. Whatever Shakespeare has written in his books, in his literature, is far-fetched for these children. The standard of education is very high. Then the map is a bad example because the map is showing adventures and beauties and bounties of the world which these children cannot get. It is out of their reach. Their condition is same from morning till night. There is no improvement in their condition. Then they are so emaciated, they are so weak and thin that their bones are peeping out through their skins. Their bodies are called slag heaps because of their pathetic condition, thin and lean bodies they have. The rich people, they do not want to include this living hell into their map because they don't want to blot or they don't want to spoil their map. So let's start with the explanation. Surely Shakespeare's wicked and the map a bad example, with ship and sun and love tempting them to steal. Shakespeare is wicked according to the poet because his literature is useless for these children. The standard of education is very, very high and it is far-fetched for these children. The map is a bad example because the map is showing the ships and the sun. The ships are a symbol of adventure, fun and frolic, and the sun is the symbol of brightness, having a bright future, having bright opportunities ahead, which these children don't have. And since they don't have these things, they are always tempted. They have the desire. Tempting means to have the desire that someone should also love them. They should be loved and attention should be paid towards them also. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, but their lives, slyly here means secretly, are turning into their cramped holes. Cramped holes are the miserable area, the confined areas where they are living. They are not able to come out from this area. They are restricted in that area. From fog to endless night, from morning to night, means from birth till death, their condition is the same. There is no improvement in their condition, in their situation. On their slag heaps, here slag heaps means industrial waste also, the waste materials, and it also means their thin and emaciated bodies. These children wear skins peep through by bones. They are so thin and lean because they are not getting a proper diet, malnutritious children are there, and their bones are peeping out through their skins. Just shows the bad condition of these children. And spectacles of steel with mended glasses. Mended means repaired or made. So their glasses appear to be that a piece of glass is picked up from somewhere and they have made their glasses. Like bottle bits on stone. When a bottle is smashed on the stone, the bottle breaks into pieces. It scatters here and there. Same way, their dreams and their achievements are scattered. They don't have any opportunities. Nothing is there for them. So, since they cannot dream, they cannot take up the initiative to do anything in their life. All their time and space are foggy slums. Time, all their time from morning till night, and space is the restricted and constricted area where they are living. It is foggy slum. Foggy means blur. They don't have a bright future. They don't have any opportunities. They don't have any facilities. No achievements. Nothing is there for them. So blot their map as big as doom. Your doom means the living hell. So the rich people, the well-educated people, the civilized people, they do not want to include this living hell in their map because they don't want to blot. Blot means to spoil their map. Now just let's have a quick look at the poetic devices. Stanza 3, all the alliterations are written. Surely Shakespeare, ship and sun, tempting them from fog, bottle bits. These are all the alliterations. Then we have the metaphor here. From fog to endless night means from morning till night or from birth till death. Where skins peep through by bones, their emaciated body condition is very, very bad, thin, skinny, lean. So their bones are peeping out from their skins. Cramped holes is the congested area, the restricted area, the area where they are confined to live in. They cannot come out from this miserable condition. Simile, like bottle bits on stone. It's a simile here because here their dreams are shattered and scattered. Like when the bottle is smashed on the stone, it scatters about, breaks into pieces. Their dreams are also broken because they don't have anyone to come forward and make their condition good. And it is also showing their pathetic and miserable condition. So blot their maps as big as the doom. This is again another simile where the rich people, they do not want to include this area because this area according to them is a living hell. They don't want to include it in their map. Symbols are there. Ship and sun. Ship and sun. Ship is showing adventure, fun and frolic, and sun, it is showing the bright sides of bright opportunity ahead in their life which they don't have. Slag heaps, it means the industrial waste, and it also means the weak and lethargic bodies of the slum children. Fourth stanza. Now this is a urge or a request to the people who have power and authority to come forward and do something for these children. These are the people who can break the chains of inequality and disparity and do something for the upliftment of these children. These are the people who can make these children come out into the open world of progress and prosperity. The poet is saying that instead of giving the donations like the map, these people should give the donation of books so that the children, they can read the books and gain first-hand knowledge and enhance their power of speech and opinion. He is saying that people who have the power of speech and knowledge, they are the people who can make a name for themselves in history. So let's start with the explanation. Unless governor, teacher, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window. So unless these people who have the authorities and the power, if these people they come forward, only then that map which is put up on the wall can become the world of these children, because they can come out from this congested area, this miserable area, and they can come out into the open world, because their area is restricted in the four walls of the classroom, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs, these windows means the windows of the classroom from where they can only see fog, they can only see blurriness, and they can only see this catacomb like area, miserable area. The catacombs are the underground graves. So this is what their area is like. It's like a living hell, because from morning to night their condition is the same, and they have to work very hard to make both ends meet. Break or break till they break the town. So here he is requesting the people who have authority to break these chains of disparity, the shackles of inequality and injustice, and come forward and do something for these children. He wants them to show these children to green fields. Green fields here, it is symbolizing the progress and prosperity, and the open area, the nature, and make their world run azure on gold sands. Azure is the sky blue, the open area, and gold sands means the golden opportunities in life. And let their tongues run naked into books, means instead of giving those donations, books should be given, so that these children they can learn, they can read these books, and they can enhance their knowledge. They can get the power of speech by these books. The white and green leaves open. The white and green leaves are symbolizing the pages of the books. They can read these books, they can go through these books, and they can attain first-hand knowledge. History is theirs whose language is the sun. Only those people who have the power of language and speech, those people who are confident, those people who can motivate and direct the attention of others towards themselves, they are the people who make a name for themselves in history, because people they don't like to listen to downtrodden people. So here history is theirs who's only the person who has the power of speech has the commanding authority. Okay, now let's go through the poetic devices. Here imagery or symbols. The windows are the windows of the classroom where their area is restricted. He wants to break those, open those windows and make these children come out into the open world. Break or break, to break the chains of disparity, injustice and inequality, so that these children they can come out into the world of progress and prosperity. Green leaves and gold sands. Green leaves, again it is the symbol of progress and prosperity, and green sands, it is the golden opportunities in their life. Golden sands is the golden opportunities in their life. White and green leaves, these are the pages of the books. The children can read these books, gain knowledge, and they can even give their own opinions. Run azure means the experience and the rich colors of progress, and even to appreciate nature. Sun is the symbol of enlightenment, blessing and equality. Here break or break is the imagery also, and break or break is the repetition also. The metaphor, let their tongues run naked into books. This is the meaning which I told you, that they can get first hand knowledge by reading the books. They can enhance their knowledge. History is theirs whose language is the sun. Only those who have the power of speech, those who can motivate others, those who can divert the attention of others, they are the people who govern the world, and they are the people who have authority and confidence. Because people do not like to listen to downtrodden people. So that's all. Thank you for listening, and I think you should watch this video till the end because it is for your benefit, to enhance your knowledge, and it will be very handy for you in the board exams also. So please don't leave it in between. Watch it till the end, and even don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment on my channel. Okay, so bye till then.